so the past 2 weeks I was in Seoul, and what I realized in Seoul a couple of times, several times actually, but had all these experiences that I was reminded of being in different other places in the world. And I was mostly reminded of being in the Middle East, and where I don't ever think about crime. And I'm walking around Seoul at whatever hour of the day or night, never once thinking about crime. And I was reminded, one time, for example, my wife left her phone on a bench, and we're in the middle of the city, right? And then she left, and was like, oh man, my phone, but never worried that someone was going to take it. Was just worried that she had to get back there to get it, because her phone was going to be sitting on the bench. And it reminded us of some experiences that we had pretty much everywhere in the Middle East. Similar kind of thing, where it's just not, by and large, it's not an issue. And I think what I experienced in being able to be in public and pull a big wad of money out anywhere, and my phone, just having my phone wherever, it's just a non-issue, right? I'm not going to get robbed at all. And what I realized was how much that crime has impacted me. And just here, in most parts of this country, right? State College is a little bit different, but nonetheless, right? How much crime has impacted me. And in different places that I go, how I'm really thinking about it. Just constantly thinking about it, right? I spend a fair amount of time in Colombia because I have an apartment in Bogota. And, we live in a really safe, what would be a safe area of the city. But first off, I don't mostly think about crime because I just feel like I just don't think about it consciously, because I'm a sociologist and I can read things pretty quickly, but it's in my subconscious. And so we live in this, it's a relatively safe area, but the safe area is about 4 blocks. And even right outside our door of the apartment building, people get robbed. You know what I mean? You go out with your phone and suddenly someone comes out of nowhere and your phone's gone. And so it's just a constant battle. You get on the Tramsme, you get this kind of overground kind of subway system, and you got to watch at every moment. You're watching, just paying attention to stuff. Non-issue in Korea. Never thought about it. And so what I was thinking is, it'd be really nice to have a conversation about that, and to talk a little bit about different parts of the world and how people think about crime, and also how we think about guns. So I would like to have a volunteer from preferably in the United States. We need one more volunteer. Somebody who has grown up or lives in a really kind of high crime area where you're thinking about crime all the time. It's just a constant thing. So does anybody want to volunteer on that one? Dude, is that you? All right, man. Dude, so can the volunteers come up and we'll... Okay, hang on. We're back. This is our first day back in the classroom. So, wait, hang on. Here's where we're going to go. I want to remind you, we're back in the classroom. Put your phones away, computers away, and don't talk. Okay? We're cool? Because, we're back. Everyone's been all loose about it, but we're back here. So, all right, man. So can you all just say something about just who you are and where you're from?
Hi, my name is Shin Young, and just call me Shin, and I'm from South Korea.
You're from Seoul, right?
Yeah, Seoul, South Korea.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Yijing Ling. My friends call me Shannon. I'm from south of China.
Yeah? Okay. Wait, can we do something here? Can you just switch seats with Sarah here, bro? Just mix up the genders a little bit. Yeah. All right, man.
All right, what's up, guys? I'm from New York. My name's Christian. I live in Long Island now, but I was born in New York.
Uh-huh.
Hi everyone, my name is Parth and I'm from Bombay, India.
From Bombay?
Yeah.
All right. Parth.
Yes.
Wait, so Shin, Ijun, how'd I do? Ijun? Christian, Parth. All right. Yeah, you can just leave the mics on. It's easier.
My name's Sarah. I'm from a small town in South Jersey. It's called Hamilton.
Hamilton.
Hello everyone, I'm from Mecca, Saudi Arabia, and my name is Amr Abu Arab.
Amir? How do you say it?
Amr in English.
Amr?
Yeah.
Yeah, how do
Hammer
you
without
say
the
it?
H.
How do you say it?
Amr.
Hammer.
Amr. Like from the throat.
Dude, yeah, all right, man. I'm not gonna butcher it for you, man. Hey, so can you guys? So I want to have this conversation about just different aspects of crime, because once again, one thing that I think is really fascinating for me as a sociologist is that I get that we, as a class, we get to listen to our classmates talk about, I could just tell you things and give you PowerPoint slides and stuff, but it's much more interesting, I think, to hear from people. Like, what's it like, right? And so we could just start with you, since, you were the last one to go. And my question is like, so, wait, where are you from, Saudi? How often are you thinking about crime, bro?
Zero, honestly.
Zero?
I don't think about it at all.
What's that mean, you don't think about it at all?
Like, there's not a day where like crime strikes me or like it comes to my mind. Usually we don't, like, especially in my area, in my city, we don't find like many crimes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Huh. All right. So how about, so we don't have to go down the line, so anybody else who wants to go? But go ahead.
I don't really think about crime that much, especially just being from a small town. Hamilton, like, I can't remember the last time something like horrible has happened. But I think, like, say I go outside of Hamilton, I like go to Philly a lot, so sometimes I think about crime there. Or if I'm out with my friends, especially being a girl at night, like if I'm going to, say, Target or something, walking in my car alone, that's kind of scary. But in my hometown, I don't think about it very often.
So walking to your car like at night, it's scary.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. All right. And when you decide, hey, I'm going into the city or something, right? Do your parents talk about it?
Yeah, last Christmas I actually was going to go to Philly, but my parents actually didn't let me because of the rising like crime in the city.
Yeah?
So I wasn't allowed to go.
Huh. All right. Somebody else.
Where I live, luckily I'm in like a safe neighborhood, but if you go out anywhere else, like not anywhere else, like you're gonna get robbed or anything. But like when you go into the city, I bring a knife with me. I just have a knife in my backpack or like on my person, just like in case.
Oh, dude, hold the mic close.
And then also, like stuff started getting stolen from me when I was in school at like a young age. That's just because like I don't know, kids just like to steal, I guess. So like crime was apparent to me a lot of the time, and then like I knew kids in high school that would like break into cars and just like steal, and then like gangs and stuff were prevalent where I lived. So crime was like on my mind a lot of the time. And like when I went to the city, I would like make sure to put a rubber band around my wallet in my pocket, so if I tried to get pickpocketed, it would like pull out and you'd know that somebody's pulling your wallet out. And I don't know, just like weird stuff that you start to think about when you know there's crime prevalent.
So I have a question. Ammer, am I right? Hammer without the H. Dude, what question do you have for him, man? Like he just said he never thinks about crime. Crime's a non-issue where he's from.
I mean, that would be sick. I want to not think about crime. Thinking about crime sucks because then you got to like be on your toes.
So what question do you have for him, man?
What question do I have for him?
Yeah.
Have you ever had anything stolen from you?
No, not really.
Damn,
Nothing.
that's crazy.
I found that quite interesting that you have to put like a rubber band on your wallet so you'd feel
Well,
when
you
someone's
just-
pulling it.
you
That's
just-
a new thing.
You just do it for like safety precautions because if somebody pickpockets you, like a lot of the time there's not one person pickpocketing you, so like somebody will come up and distract you, and then there'll be like other people that start surrounding you and they start taking your stuff. So if you do put like, it was my dad, my friend's dad that grew up in the Bronx told me to do it, and he was like, yo, if you go into the city, just keep a rubber band on you and like make sure it's around stuff that you care about when it's in your pocket, because the rubber band will like cause friction in your pocket, and you'll know that somebody's trying to take something from
I
you.
used to do that in Ecuador. I got pickpocketed all the time, man. Bro, can you imagine getting pickpocketed?
No, not really.
Yeah. So, Yijun, how about you? How's crime in China, man?
I would say that growing up in China, we don't really worry about like robbery or like homicide, but pickpocketing definitely like is a concern when you go to like some touristy spots.
A touristy spot.
Yeah. But I didn't know that you can put like a rubber band on your wallet to prevent it from happening. And also I think like nowadays when I think about crime, I think there's definitely like a gender difference. Like girls would be worried at night and because they're
Go ahead.
yeah, and especially like things like sexual assault, it definitely happens when like late at night, like drunk men would like approach girls and try to, I don't know, like take advantage of them or something. So it's like definitely a heated debate going on, especially on the internet between like genders. So people talk about like gender-related crimes more often than like robbery or homicide. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Parth, how about you? Like, how often are you thinking about and talking about crime in Bombay?
Quite often, because considering not all crimes, maybe just highlighting something like pickpocketing and thefts, you need to be very careful. So at every moment when you step out, you need to be careful when you are in maybe public places. So you never understand where you have been theft or you have something missing from your pockets.
And who's committing the crime?
I have never been a victim to it, so I am not aware about it.
Well, who do you imagine? Like, who are you when you are in Mumbai, right? You're walking on the street, and how do you know who to be afraid of or concerned about?
So, well, first, it's not to be afraid of, it's to be like more...
To protect yourself from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the person maybe who follows me or maybe continues to follow me for quite a longer distance. So, we have an idea that there's something going to happen wrong. So, maybe to prevent the further situations.
Yeah. Okay. So for you, the kind of crime would be like crimes of opportunity, like robbery, pickpocket, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Hey, Sarah, by the way, when you think about when your parents are saying like, hey, we're not going to let you go into the city, what are they thinking is going to happen?
probably they just assume the worst. I mean, it's like the media, the news, they show the worst. So I think they just don't want me to be, I guess, like an opportunity for someone, say, to pickpocket, or I don't know. I really don't know. I guess they expect the worst, but I don't want to think about that. But I think they're just looking out for my safety.
Uh-huh. And Parth, going back to you, when you're thinking about this, is it the worst, or is it just like, let's just get pickpocketed?
It's never worst.
It's never the worst?
No,
So it's not that. So you're never thinking about that.
possibly.
Like getting really like beat up or in a serious way, assaulted in a serious way. Yeah, got you. Uh-huh. And Amr, you're not thinking about any of this stuff. Is it because you're a guy, or is it just because of where you live?
No, I don't think it's because I'm a guy. Even like in Saudi Arabia, like women don't carry these the sprays thing and any of these things. Even like when I came here, some of my female colleagues, like when we sat to study and all of these things, I'm like, what is this? What are you carrying this for? And she was like, this is for like my protection and stuff like that. Yeah. So I don't think it's really about gender-wise.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Hey, and Shin, how about you? So in Seoul. So what I was saying about Seoul is that like
I don't think I think about crime while I'm walking the street.
you don't?
I don't, but just in case, because my town has so many alleys,
Yeah.
so I took like knives just in case.
So you would, instead of taking like a really small alley, you might take a more of a larger street.
Yeah.
Just in case. So what do you mean just in case? In case what?
In case like sexual assault stuff
So for you, it's as a woman, it's
as a
that.
woman, but not the like robbery or something.
Uh-huh.
I don't think about it.
You never think about it. Yeah. And Ijun, same thing with like that. You're not thinking about that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been to Korea. I've been to Seoul before. It's like I would like just leave my bag in public.
Yeah.
I don't worry about people like taking those stuff, but like at night, I think it's like pretty common. Like girls like worry about like sexual assault more
Yeah,
than like
yeah.
pickpocketing and stuff.
Yeah. You know, so the story I gave about Lori and her phone, that you relate to that. Like she left her phone on the bench. What happened was we ended up calling her phone and someone picked it up. And I was with someone who was Korean, so she talked to them. And they said, oh, yeah, no, the phone's right here. Well, and we said, okay, we're going to send her back to get it. And they said, okay, yeah, but we can bring it to you. And we're like, no, that's okay. We'll just come back. It's easier. I mean, it's just like nothing. Remind me of, we were once in Qatar, and Lori had her brand new MacBook, and it was like this $2,500 machine that we were working in this outdoor area, and we decided we were going to go up and get something at a cafeteria. So she like just instinctively put her laptop in her bag and just like walked in, with like, her bag that had everything in it, her phone, her money, her passport, everything. Instinctively put the laptop in the bag to walk. And the people we were with, the Qataris, said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "Well, I'm going to get." They said, "Just leave it here. Like we can leave for 5 hours and come back, and it's going to be sitting right there. It's not going to be." And Lori, and we knew that, but it was so instinctual for her to do that. And so it's like, oh man. So you relate. I felt like that in Seoul, So a question becomes, how does then crime? I mean, bro, Sarah, do you have questions for them? Like, like, how would that be? What would it be like for you to be in a city like Seoul, where there's
I think it would definitely be strange, but also like where I'm from specifically, the
Yeah,
small
right.
town, that I could leave my stuff and it'd be fine. But if
Yep.
I was in a big city, I wouldn't leave it. I was actually it reminds me, I was in Wildwood, New Jersey a couple years ago, and I left my phone in the bathroom for probably about 10 minutes, and I came back and it was gone.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, that's kind of relatively the same area as me, but like hearing their experiences, it seems like the phone would still be there. So I couldn't imagine that.
So your experience where you live would be similar to
Yeah,
their
directly where I
experience.
live. Yeah. But
Yeah,
like
yeah,
when
yeah.
I travel outside of my town, because there's really not that much there, obviously, I'm going to go somewhere else. Other places, I definitely have to think about it more.
Yeah. Hey, Parth, let me ask you, how do you think about like Christian's experience, like carrying a knife, like whatever. Do you have any questions for him? Or what questions do you have?
Like how is it you can not for knives but yeah for guns, like how is it, like is it without any proper permits or anything you are allowed to have guns? Are you allowed to have?
In New York, it's a lot harder to get a gun in New York, which is like it's harder to get a gun in New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like pistols, I guess you can be worried about pistols, but you have to it's just where you are and the people that you're talking to. If you surround yourself with people that you know are gonna have guns, yeah, you're gonna be like surrounded with guns. But I don't know, guns in the city, I don't worry about that much. But then like you go to like some places and there's like, oh, there's a lot of guns here. So, it's just,
But are you thinking though about like when you're out? I mean, look, we have the gun here. Can I just show you? Can you go to the one slide there for a second? This one right here. So here, these are gun deaths in 2019. Okay, in Korea there were 10. So Korea is a country of 53 million more or less. So we multiply in U.S. is 330 million people. So you got to multiply 53 or 54 million, whatever, by 6 in order to get to the population in the United States, okay? So that means if Korea had the same number of people as the United States, there would be about 60 gun deaths in Korea every year, okay? 60 gun deaths? Got it? Which, I don't know how you think about that. Is that a lot? Is it not a lot? But it would be 60. If Korea was like the United States, and the size of the United States, and had guns in the way the U.S. does, there would be 60 gun deaths. Or hang on, if Korea was like Korea is, with the same policies and same guns, etc., but there were 330 million people like the U.S., there would be 60 gun deaths. In the United States, can you go to the next slide? It's 60 every 12 hours. Like every 12 hours in the United States, someone's getting killed with a gun. So Emmer, do you have a thought on that? Like,
I mean, that's crazy. 60 people are dying every 12 hours.
do you feel nervous being here? Like if you take the average American and say, hey, we're going to send you over to the Middle East, right? Because it doesn't matter where you go. Because when I was traveling a lot to the Middle East, because I was traveling a lot to the Emirates and Qatar and Kuwait and been to Iraq and a lot of places. Every time I would go, people would say like, oh, be careful. You know what I mean? Like, be careful. And I'd be like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, but aren't you kind of, when you see that, aren't you kind of afraid as a Saudi dude?
I mean, I don't go out at night, especially when I went to LA and New York. I didn't go out at night because people were telling me these things were happening. So, yeah, it's kind of scary at some points, yeah.
But bro, but he goes out at night. Christian goes out at night. So like, Christian, what do you do? Like, so he's in LA and New York, doesn't go out at night. Like, what would you tell him?
I don't know. Just walk on streets with the light. Like, I don't know. I go out at night. I don't know.
But what are you thinking at night? Like, you're watching, you're protecting. I mean, Yeah, go ahead. Like, what are you thinking?
It's like watch if somebody's following you. I don't know. I'm not nervous at night though because I've grown up in it. You know what I mean?
You've grown up with the crime and the violence.
Like, yeah, I guess so.
So we can say crime and violence because, because he's not growing up with crime and violence. I mean, you guys have corruption because everybody has corruption, right? So that's crime there, right? But white collar crime, I mean, there's all sorts of it, right? Everywhere. But he's not growing up with the violence and the crime. So he doesn't know how to manage this. But you're saying, like, no, listen, as an American, I grew up with this. Like, I figure it out. You kind of know.
Like, am I going to go to certain neighborhoods at night? No, that's stupid.
So you learn where
I'm
where
going
to
to
go.
put myself in a situation where I'm going to break both my legs. Why would I jump off the like? What? No.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Can one of you two respond to this? Like, Shin, can you respond as a Korean to that? Like 60 versus 60 every 12 hours? Is that surprising to you?
A little bit. I don't know, but I would say because Korea, the gun is illegal in Korea. So
Yeah.
I
mean, people have guns.
yeah, they have gun. Yeah. Yeah, it's still shock. Yeah, 60 people.
So when you came to the U.S., did people say, like, hey, be careful and watch out, you're going to get shot? Like, when my friends come from Afghanistan and Iraq and other war areas, Colombia, all sorts of places, everybody's warning them. They're thinking they're going to get killed in the U.S., right? These are places where, these are like serious places where war's going on, and people are like, oh, don't go to the United States, you're going to get killed. So I'm wondering, did people say that to you coming here?
Yeah, when I first came here, back in my hometown, my friends said, "Oh, shit, I'm so worried about you because America has guns, and what about like gun shooting happen at your school, high school?" And so I got a little scared first time I came here, but I don't think the gun is scary to me right now because State College is pretty safe, and also where my high school was, it was also safe. So I never worry about gun too much. But yeah.
Ichun, how about you when you see those numbers?
Like I was kind of surprised that there's even like 10 gun deaths in Korea. Because like possession of a gun, I think it's illegal, and yeah, maybe like those rare cases do happen. And also when I came here, like back in like 2014 or 15, my grandpa, he would like send me a link to news like every time there's a mass shooting happening in America. He's like, it's not safe, like come back home. And I'm like, it's
Dude, he must have been sending you a link every 5 hours or something, man.
but not like that much made it like to the news in
Yeah, it
China.
makes it to the news cycle,
and
yeah.
I was like Grandpa, it's not where I live. But yeah, and my mom got really worried because like they don't know like what's the difference, because I went to a high school in Minnesota and they didn't know the difference between like it's Minnesota or Texas or like LA. They just think it's America. America has lots of guns, and there are mass shooting happening every hour.
Yeah. Well, that's how we all think that way, right? Like we keep like Amber, you just say like, hey, this guy's from the Middle East. You're not thinking. We don't make a distinction between those kinds of things, Yeah. Parth, how about you? How about you?
First, definitely looking at the estimates. The first, it was surprising, but after then, when the brackets came out, it was for every 12 hours, it was quite shocking. So, when I came here, US this August, this August. So definitely there are crime rates, but at the same time, security is there, and maybe to deal with the crimes there are possible ways. So yeah, in a way it is safe, and definitely no one told me that it's insecure or you should not go or you should be more careful with safety, because when you travel abroad you assume to consider yourself to be more safe than what you are in your home country.
Uh-huh. So wait, keep going. So when you travel abroad, you like when you're in your own country, you have a sense of what is and isn't safe.
Exactly.
But so I've been in Mumbai, and I was all over Mumbai. I never thought about maybe getting pickpocketed or something, but never thought about any other crime.
So yeah, it actually depends upon different areas and the places you visit and the security that places have. How's the things there? So in specific locations.
Yeah. Emmer, bro, do you have any questions for Americans? Like, how about when you came here, were people thinking, in Saudi, like even now, do they like Ijun, she has her grandfather sending her articles, do people?
No, I don't really see, they just tell me be careful, don't go to bad places or don't go to high crime areas. Try to avoid certain areas in like cities or whatever. But they say you can go anywhere. It doesn't matter. Just stay safe.
So I was just in LA and I was walking around at 2 and 3 in the morning and Skid Row actually, right? So in downtown LA. But I kind of have a sense of what I mean, it's like Christian, like I can read the surroundings and stuff. It's mostly just junkies, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of homeless, especially like when you go under the, what's it called? Overpasses, yeah. There's like a lot of people. So especially like when I went out at night with my friends, we went to watch a movie, Batman, when it first came out. Yeah, so we were walking after we finished watching. We were like so wary of what's going to happen, our surrounding, looking left. Yeah.
Do people have guns in Saudi?
Yeah, but like we don't, like the majority does not. I know like a couple of my friends, they do, like their parents have like guns.
What kind of guns? Rifles or
yeah, they have
handguns?
They have a handgun, and like it's only like one of my friends that has a handgun and like a long rifle. But he only goes out in like the desert to use it, never in the city.
So he uses it just for target and stuff?
Target, just throwing random targets and practicing. Yeah, these things for fun.
So you don't know anyone that has guns for protection or anything?
No.
In the police, are there like, where are the police? What are the police doing? Because my experience of police is they were just sitting around in their cars.
Yeah, basically. They carry guns, but like you rarely hear any incidents, or you don't even hear incidents where they use the gun.
Yeah. So are people then afraid of the police, or?
From my experiences, like my friends and relatives that had communication like with police, they never had any bad encounters. They're just very understanding, know their places, everyone knows what they're doing, and it's very direct. Yeah. So the police at some level are an instrument of the state, but not in the way that they are here, because they don't really need to be. Like you're just following along, you're following the rules. Yeah, you just follow everything, follow the rules, and nothing will happen. Yeah.
Do you feel like that for like in general? Do you feel like people are really following
the rules? Sometimes there are people that speed, or we usually like don't stop at stop signs or these things. Yeah. But yeah, these are the things.
No, but, and I asked that because, like, in Seoul, one of the things that I experienced in Seoul was, like, nobody jaywalks. Like, there could be nobody in sight. I didn't see a single person jaywalk, except me, right, and my wife. There's, like, nobody in sight anywhere. There's not a car, there's no person, and then you see someone just standing at this crosswalk for, I don't know, like 2 minutes, because, you know, maybe it's like there's one intersection we were, the lights are really long. So you're waiting 2 minutes, and then it finally changes, and they go, and there's nobody around. So the next time Lori and I got to the same spot, there's nobody around, and we're like, we're not waiting for 2 minutes, and we jaywalked. And we're like, oh my God, here we are. The ugly Americans are committing a crime. But there's no one even, people are just following the rules. It's like what we call, in the world of sociology, there's like a communitarian-oriented, did I talk about this in class? I'm not sure. A communitarian-oriented moral order, like right and wrong, is what's really important for the community on one hand. And then on the other hand, down here at this other end, it's like an individualist-oriented moral order. What's best for the individual? So the communitarian-oriented moral order, which is going to be more, say, in Saudi or in China or in Korea, is the communitarian-oriented moral order says, hey, what's important is important for everybody else around me, and so I'm just going to watch and make sure that I follow what everybody else is doing. So if nobody else is jaywalking, I'm not going to be the one that jaywalks. If everybody else is wearing a mask, I'm definitely going to have my mask on, which is, for me, like right now, it's really strange to be here not having a mask, because I spent 2 weeks in Korea wearing a mask all the time, even outdoors, where 98% of the people, even on a windy day, are still wearing a mask, and even though they don't have to. The rule is, hey, you don't have to wear a mask, but everybody does anyway, because everybody is thinking about what other people are thinking about, right? Am I right, Shin? It's like you're thinking in Ijun for sure, but you're thinking about, okay, but I'm thinking about what everybody else is thinking, and I don't want to be the one that doesn't wear the mask. And so for me, it was an issue because there were people who knew who I was, and I didn't want to get like a photograph without having a mask on. Like, I want to have good nunchi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I don't want to get trouble because like not wearing a mask.
But what's getting in trouble though? Just having someone look at you with a mean face?
Yeah.
Because like
Yeah,
now,
I think so.
Yeah, because now you don't have to wear one, but people do anyway, right?
I think when Korean people think, oh, it's a law, like so mask has like so government said, oh, you have to wear a mask. Then I think everyone thinks, oh, government say we have to wear a mask, so we have to wear a mask anyway.
How is that in the U.S., do you think? The government says we have to get vaccinated. And so it's like this.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, I think so.
Why do you think that is, man? Do you have any thoughts about Americans?
Because America, they respect
Individualism?
Yeah, individualism.
How is that for you to see that? Like, what's that?
I think it always has a good side and always has a bad side. Like individualism, and then compared to the I forgot what it's
The
called.
communitarianism.
Yeah, communitarianism.
Yeah. Ijun, how about you? Like you all, like the Chinese, you're following a lot of rules.
Oh, yeah. There's this, I think, a saying in Japanese that's called like a nail that stood out gets hammered down.
What is it?
A nail that
a nail
stood
that
out gets
stands up-
hammered down.
Gets hammered down, yeah.
And there's a saying in Chinese, we say, 木秀于林，风必摧之. It means like if you're a tree that stands out among woods, the wind will destroy. That you will be destroyed by the wind.
By the wind.
So it's a lot of sayings about like following the rules and like kind of have like that herd mentality. You follow what everybody does. But also, I think in China the thing's a bit more calm because you were talking about jaywalking, and because I'm from a very small town in China, and there are a lot of jaywalking happening there. But if you go to like big city where there are like better urban planning, people like follow the rules strictly for everybody's convenience. So in like East Asia, like there's like we are all like very like community centered, but like among East Asians, I think there's a rank of like Japanese, Korean, Chinese in terms of like rule following.
Yeah.
I think like Japanese and Korean society, like Japanese are like the most like strictly rule like following community. Like, yeah, I think yeah we would agree. Yeah.
Yeah. You agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah. A bit. Yeah.
Hey, so Christian, let me ask you a question. When you hear this, and Sarah, right? When the two of you, when you guys hear this about like following rules, how is that for you? Like, do you have any questions about that? Or
I just want to see it. Like I'm interested to see it.
what do you want to see?
Like I don't know. I think it'd be cool to see only people not jaywalking. I just like I like jaywalking a lot. I think it's funny here though, because I think people jaywalk here a lot, probably maybe. But when I know how to walk at a car where I like can time the car passing, right?
Yeah.
Kids get so freaked out when they're driving. They like slow down and I'm like, dude, I'm timing me getting past your car.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, that's the thing in the city more. But so for you, it would be curious just to see people actually following rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sarah, do you have a thought on that?
Yeah, I just think that would definitely be interesting. That's just something we don't see here, obviously, or where we're from. I mean, you tell someone to be a certain place at a certain time, and there's complaints. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So, like, strict rules like that, oh, everyone has to wear a mask, everyone has to follow these traffic rules. I just can't imagine everyone with such individualistic ideals about themselves, and everyone's better, oh, I'm too superior to do this. I just can't imagine that happening here.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Wait, hang on a second. Yeah, because it doesn't happen here by and large. Not in the same way. I mean, obviously, people are pretty good at following rules. I mean, look, not those of you who are talking, but otherwise, if you think about it, if you walk around campus, most people figure out how to walk and how to do what they need to do. And like most of us are following rules most of the time. But not like in some societies, right?
It just doesn't seem like a make or break. Here it's like almost like a give and take. You follow some, you don't. But there it's like make or break. I feel like everyone has to be doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Emmer, is that like a Saudi thing? So you're following along. Do you guys believe in your government? Do you like trust the government, or do you just?
I mean, yeah, we were shown in COVID when it started that the government took precautions that benefited us. For example, like in the supermarkets and all this, we didn't go like to take everything from the shelves or stuff like that. There was like a system that was placed, so it made sure like every citizen had their own needs met.
Oh, so you guys you didn't go to the stores and there was no toilet paper like here.
We don't use toilet papers, we wash.
Yeah, exactly.
So
He makes sense. Dude, water, dude.
Wash with water.
And then you don't use use the water and then you don't dry it.
Yeah, we dry obviously, but like we don't clean.
Air dry or is it?
Huh? No, it's not air dry.
In Korea, we air dry, dude. Dude, you got a toilet seat? Can you tell them about the killer toilets?
Well, I have a funny story about it today too.
I think we call it bidet.
The bidet.
The bidet. So after you poo, after you dead, it rinse them and
You
also
hit the button.
hit the button, and then the waters came out and rinse them.
And if you want it to oscillate, it'll
Yeah.
like spin around, pulsate.
Yeah, they have a different mode. So
Yeah. Right in your bum
Yeah.
hole, bro.
Yeah, but then how do you dry it?
Ah, dude.
Yeah, also, the air came out.
Yeah, you hit the dryer button.
Yeah,
You
dryer
stop the water and you hit the dryer button, and you just sit there with warm water on your bum hole going like, this is nice. And then, after about 10 minutes, because it's so relaxing, you realize, oh shit, I got other things to do, and you turn the dryer off and you get up. You get on with your day.
So why don't we like implement that in like the United? Like why is it?
Why don't we have that in the U.S.? Because the U.S. is the greatest country in the world. So the best way to take care of number 2 is to get paper and wipe your ass and spread the shit all over your ass, and then throw the paper out, and then you scrape. If you have an endless wipe, it's all like red and sore, and you're bleeding, and what the hell. But because we're the greatest country in the world, that's the best way to do it. And so these Koreans with these fancy toilet seats and warm water, bro, not cold water, warm water. So it's
warm
nice.
water.
Yeah, it feels really nice. And then, the very first time I used one of these in Japan, I was like, damn, I got up and I left and I started walking away, and I went, oh, no, I got to do that again, man. That was nice. So I sat down again, and then I'm playing with the oscillation and the whole thing. And 15 minutes later, I'm like, all right, I got to get on with my life. But yeah, this is awesome, man. Yeah. Life is just good. And not only that, man, can I just throw something else out to you? So we stayed in this apartment, and every time we walked past the toilet, because it's a smart toilet, it knew, and it just popped the seat up. And so the seat would pop up, and I'd be like, okay, well, I guess I got to sit down again and have that experience. You know what I mean? So it's pretty awesome. Parth, you have bidets in India, right?
I didn't get you. Can you?
Do you have bidets in India? I used water in India to clean my room. Yeah. It was cold water because it's India. Yeah. Yeah.
Do they have the drying system in India?
Yeah, you got to figure out your own drying system. Yeah. Well, sometimes it doesn't really matter. If your rear end is still wet, just put your pants on it. It'll be dry within 5 minutes. It'll be dry. It's all good. You can maybe get a little toilet paper and pat it down a little bit. And women, then you can get the water to come in from the other direction too. So it's like, life is good, man. Life is good. Yeah. Huh. Hey, is there anybody who's really, really into guns? Who's got a lot of guns? Who's a gun person here? We gotta have someone in class who's like a gun person. Who owns guns? I mean, legally. I mean, like, you're really into guns.
He owns guns.
Do you have a lot of guns?
No, I own a gun.
Well, hang on. An American. Are there any Americans who are like gun people? Like, bro, are you a gun person? Do you have like what do you have? AR-15s? Do you have an AR-15? Wait, say that again? Yeah. How many guns do you have in your household? Wait, can you count that high? 15? How many do you have? Yeah? Dude, can you just come down for a second? Yeah. Do we have another seat? Dude, have a seat, man. No, you can point toward them. I'm gonna have them ask you questions. Dude, Eric McCoo, he was a student of mine.
Oh, really?
Dude, wait, how many guns do you have? You have a semi-automatic?
Yeah.
Wait, talking to the mic.
Yeah.
What kind?
We have, my dad has a Benelli 12-gauge shotgun. It's a semi-automatic. We use that for like skeet shooting a lot. And then we have a 223, which is the size of the bullet, or a 5.56. And
Dude, I have no idea what any of that. Do you know what that means? Bro, do you know what it means? Do any of you?
It's a NATO bullet.
All right, okay.
So it's cheaper if you buy that caliber because the military produces it.
Yeah.
So that's.
So, can you? You're not. Do you have any? Okay, so can they ask you some questions?
Yeah, I guess.
Do you guys have some questions for him? As it's like this is an American. So when you think about Americans, the crazy gun Americans. What's your name, bro?
I'm Robert.
Robert. Okay, maybe not. Dude, by the way, can I just say this?
Yeah.
I grew up with guns.
All right, cool.
So,
'Cause I'm
yeah,
like-
no, you're good, man. I grew up with. I started shooting guns when I was like 4 years old.
Yeah, I was
so
like 10.
I'm all right, but I'm not as crazy as you are. So, but that's all good. So, does anyone have questions for this guy? Yeah.
I just wanted to know where you lived. Like,
I live on Long Island as well,
Really?
on the North Shore.
what was it called? Does your dad have like a grade 2 license then?
No. So in Long Island, New York, so you used to be able to buy like AR-15s and all that stuff until they banned it. All the scary guns, I guess you want to say, got banned in, I want to say like 2014.
Yeah.
And so now you have to buy guns that you could buy a semi-automatic, but it has to look like basically like an old man gun.
Dude, this is the insanity of it.
It's
man.
nuts. It's nuts.
Does anyone? Do you have some questions? Shin, do you have a question for him about guns? About his guns? Like, what question do you want to ask him?
When did you first time experience gunning? When is your first time?
Well, my dad's like super into like hunter safety and everything like that. So I was probably like 12 years old when we went out to like upstate New York and like on the farm in the backyard and just shooting practice.
You were 12 the first time you shot?
Yeah, I would say 12, probably like
Oh.
4th grade.
Uh-huh. Yeah, all right. You have another question? Did I beat you then? I was like 4. I was 5 probably. Yeah. Do you have a question?
Like how many hours of training or like how much training do you need to have a license?
So in New York specifically, all right, so it's basically impossible unless you want to wait like 5 years to get your pistol permit. I don't have that. My dad doesn't have that. He gave that up when like my siblings were born. But you don't need actually any safety to buy a rifle. So you could walk into Dick's Sporting Goods, show your license, and they'll order it for you. And they'll give it to you in a box.
And you walk out with a
And
rifle.
you walk out with
Dude,
a
if you go
rifle.
to Texas, you can buy an AR-15.
Yeah, I mean,
You could buy one, man. Maybe not because you're Chinese, but
same thing in Pennsylvania.
yeah, same thing in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Well, but maybe you could because we don't care. We don't care if
'Cause
you're
I
Chinese.
think I know a few Chinese guys here who own like arms.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think it's not that difficult to get.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure not. Hammer, do you have a question for this guy about guns?
I mean,
Dude, here's your chance. Let me just say, here's your chance. So you think about where you all are from, Parth, other worlds, and you talk about the Americans who have guns. What questions? This is the guy right here. This is who they're talking about. What question do you want to ask? What question do people back home want to ask this guy, Robert?
I mean, what's with all the guns?
Okay, so I mean, my dad got a bunch from my grandpa, so that was probably like 6. And then he started to get into it when I think he got his first gun at like 12 years old, which was a 12-gauge shotgun. And then just, always trying to get like the nicer one or like, or we restore them as well sometimes. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen like Bonanza. Have you ever heard of it? No. It's basically you're like a cowboy, and it's something called like a 30-30. We like restored one of those, and just like there's so many different types of guns. Like it's insane.
So
And,
guns
like,
are just cool.
yeah, they're cool.
Yeah, dude, guns are cool.
Guns are cool.
Yeah. No.
It's like a hobby, like anything else.
Yeah. No, when he's talking about restoring that one gun, that's cool. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. What other question do you have? Anything else?
No.
You must have guns. Your family has guns?
My dad does, yeah. He used to be like an avid
Alright, so
hunter,
I'm not the
but he
only
isn't
one.
really that much now. He would hunt on our farm,
Yeah.
but So I feel like that's kind of normal.
Yeah.
He doesn't have as many as you, but I think I know the average household.
I also have 3
where I
younger
am from.
siblings, so they're like, and 3 of us are boys, so like we have 4 boys in the house, and like, oh, he got a cool gun, like I want one. Like it's just like one of those things.
Yeah, I know people in my area can definitely relate to that. I mean, my brother and my dad hunt, so.
Yeah, I hunt too, so it's just like.
Parth, do you have a question for this guy? Have you always? What's the question you've always wanted to ask Americans who are really into guns? Now's your chance, my friend.
Possibly, how among your friends, those who have guns, how do you, maybe, if there is something like some misunderstandings or something like that, then how do you use guns?
How do you keep from killing your friends? He's asking. when you get pissed at them, because this happens, man. Because back home, they read stories about this. People are sitting around with their guns and they get pissed and they start shooting each other. So.
Yeah, I've never had any experience like that. Like, I'll be honest, I don't even know the code to our gun safe. Like, that's like one of the things when you graduate college and get your own apartment, then like my dad will hand over like my guns.
Oh wait, hang on. So in your house you have a gun safe.
Yeah. Oh, it's fully locked up.
And like every gun is, but there must be one that's hanging in your closet of someone's bedrooms.
Just like.
Yo, hang on. Someone's hitting the. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
No, just the air rifles we have, like that we got as kids, like the pellet guns. Those are just in my bedroom and stuff like that. But no, all our like actual guns are in a safe.
So Parth is asking, how do you keep from killing your friends? Like, how do you keep from shooting people?
Well, like that doesn't even make any sense to me.
All right, okay, got it. No, this is a good question, though. What's that?
How?
No, no, the question Parth has is this a fair question? Like, dude, you got to put yourself on the other here's what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Put yourself on the other side of the world.
Okay.
And all you read are these stories of all these Americans with guns.
Yeah.
So many guns, right?
So many guns.
Like you.
Yeah.
You got 15 or so in your household, right? They're just people have these guns. And so the question becomes, I mean, there are more guns than there are people in the United States by far,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so then the question becomes, like, we see these stories of people just shooting each other with guns. So Parth says, well, when you get pissed at your friends, like, what keeps you from just shooting them, right?
It's just self-control, obviously. Like, what are we talking about? I mean, I understand where you're coming from, where you read these articles and, like, America, guns, but I get that. But, I would say 90% of gun owners are just, like, very self-control. Like,
Dude, hang on a second.
All right, maybe not 90%. I don't know.
Dude, I hope it's more than 90% because, like, 90% is pretty low.
Okay, 99. Like, I mean, I would hope that most households are like mine, where, like, they're all locked up. They're all, I mean, very safe about it. But I do know people are just unsafe about guns, and you probably read that in the news.
Uh-huh.
Like, we went to a range one time. I think my dad went by himself, and, like, the guy was alluding to, like, pulling the gun on him because the bullets were getting on his truck or something. Like, there are cases where that does happen.
Uh-huh. Bro, who else? Ijun, do you have or do one of you have a question? Another question for him? Like, are you ever like, do you want to, anybody?
Yeah, I got a question.
Yeah.
You're from Long Island, from the
Yeah.
South Shore. I'm from the North Shore. Do you think there's like a lot of crime in Long Island, like central Long Island?
I think so. My parents are from the South Shore. I think there's a lot more crime in the South Shore, like Brentwood, Wyandanch, Central Islip. That's where all the MS-13 is.
Uh-huh.
And both my grandparents still live in Brentwood, so it's a terrible neighborhood. There's like quads and like it's just a terrible neighborhood. Like, you have to watch where you're going. You can't pull into the wrong parking lot with a nice car.
Do you have a concealed carry?
No, I don't even have no, I can't. Not in New York.
Yeah,
you can't get a concealed carry unless I think you have to carry like on average like 50 grand for your job, or you're in law enforcement.
Yeah,
you can't get a concealed carry. And
All
just to own a pistol in New York, you have to get a permit.
Yeah.
And that Hello?
Yeah.
That takes about like that takes
It takes
2
a
to
long
3
time.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Are there any other questions? Anybody else have a question?
Like when for like most of people or like for you, when you say like it was like more like a cool hobby, do you mean like target shooting or like game hunting or like what kind of pastime?
I mean, a lot of people use the hobby for hunting. I've been hunting down in Florida for boar. I mostly go skeet shooting or just trap, which is basically you're in a little golf cart and you go to like 16 different stations, and each station does like a different angle of like clay pigeons.
Yeah.
And you just shoot differently. It's a hobby.
So like Winter Olympics, like those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, awesome, man. So the idea is, for other countries, other people would say like, listen, man, if you want to do that, just play a video game or something. But for here in this culture, like a gun for you, it's not like if you've never touched it. Have you ever shot a gun?
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Where'd you shoot a gun?
In my host family's house.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I did.
Dude, how was it?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
See?
What kind of gun? A handgun or like a?
I forgot
Rifle.
which gun was it.
Long.
Yeah, the rifle.
Rifle. Yeah.
Have you ever shot a gun? Would you ever like want to shoot in like an AR-15? You know what an AR-15 is?
A scary looking gun.
That shoots like a semi-automatic.
Oh, I don't think
Machine
so.
gun.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you? If he took you out hunting?
Probably, yeah.
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 I will.
So what was fun about shooting the gun?
The sound and the target. Like I can see the target and heat it, and then I think I use a some kind of chemical.
Oh,
Which name?
yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Tarmac. It's like it blows it up.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then it came out the colors when you hit the target.
Yeah.
I forgot the name, but
Yeah, I forgot the name too. But it's
Dude,
like,
so here you are, right? So this is actually really interesting to me. I mean, here you are, this person who didn't grow up around guns at all. You finally get a chance to shoot a gun, and it's cool.
I think so.
And my guess is probably as much as we have a real deep lack of understanding of guns and gun culture, my guess is that probably if most people in the world had an opportunity to shoot a gun like that, they would think it was be cool, right? And so this is really the complex thing
yeah, it's
about
really
all of
complex.
this, huh? Dude, all right, man.
All right.
Well, thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Guns, man. All right. So, hey, why don't you just stay right here for a second, okay? Hey, wait, by the way, thanks everybody for but hang on. I want to see, does anyone have any questions about one of the classes that you watched while we were gone? Anyone have a question about like the needy penis or Bossam's class or anything? Yeah, it was a good class, wasn't it, bro? Men, did you learn something? Straight men? I would hope. Anybody have any questions? Hey, wait, hang on. Yo, hold on. Relax for a second. We have 5 minutes. Who's got a question that they want to ask about one of these classes? Do one of you have a question? Who's got a question? Wait. Who's got a question? Raise your hand. Bro. All right, man. You're on, man.
I just want your opinion.
Yeah.
Is the penis needy?
Dude, did you ask your parents that?
I did not.
It totally is, man. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it is. My wife will be in class next week, so you can ask her. But, yo, somebody else. That was a good class, right? Are you straight, bro? Did you learn anything? Yo, hang on. Who's got a question? Someone's got to have a question. Anyone have a question? Dude, wait, hang on a second. Dude, are you guys, are you awake? Are you alive? You got to have a question, man. Like, damn. Because if not, I'm going to be retiring. Because I don't need to be here. Bro, go ahead.
So this is kind of bouncing off of what he said, but how does it differ for like homosexual couples?
Well, I guess on average, if you put two needy penises together, there's going to be a lot more action, right? So for men in here, by the way, if you feel like you're not getting enough action, just like start eating off the other side of the plate. You know what I mean? So I would say that. But somebody else. Dude. Somebody else, who's got one final question? Hey, by the way, hey, gentlemen, we still have 3 minutes, my friends, so sit down. The fuck, man? All right.
I have a question for Christian.
Christian?
Or not Christian, the person who was just up there. Do you think that
Robert.
Robert. Do you think that if you knew someone who was who was victim to gun violence or who passed away from gun violence, you would still find satisfaction in shooting and stuff?
Dude, that's a really good question. So if you meant, so this is, we have 1 minute left, bro. So if you met, so the question is, if you knew someone, someone in this room has been a victim of gun violence for sure, how would that affect maybe the way you think about guns? Although you're very thoughtful about guns, but go ahead.
I think that's a really tough question. I think gun violence happens, or gun violence or accidents or whatever it is happens because you were not taught the right way to be and to respect a gun. I respect the hell out of guns, and and so I guess if I was directly affected, then I would probably be oh God, I just need to. But I think it would have to be super tragic, and it would be something in the same line of a car hit me.
Yeah.
I look at it in that same regard.
Yeah.
So,
dude, well, isn't this kind of the way all of life is? In a way?
So I get that. If that somewhat answers your question, that's kind of how I look at it.
So here's my final thought. It's kind of goes back to when you're on the other side of the world and you're reading about the stories of the crazy Americans, right? With their guns and stuff. But they actually sit down and talk to people, and you find out that most people are really very thoughtful and just kind of like you are. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how life is in a way.
Yeah.
So
Great question.
yeah. All right, y'all. Listen, we'll see you on Thursday, man.